And we're back. We're live. It's Tuesday evening. We always go live 8 p.m. We have a few people coming in already. How are you doing? We have 4 people there already. This usually takes a few minutes to kick in. Who do we have there? Where he is? Are you on Facebook or YouTube? Who do we have? I'm gonna put the comments on the screen there. 1 second. Boom, boom. Um, so yeah, as always, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. We always go live. These lives are for our students and members of the YouTube channel. The members and our students have a WhatsApp group. They all ask questions and we talk about them here. How you doing? I'm Box. Great name. Well done, bud. Well done. So without any further ado, we're going to get into the content. So I'm going to add this to stage, and here we go. So as always, I always start with a few congratulations. So the one on the left here, his name is Avice. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he was with James in Finglas. Congratulations, bud. We had Benzie passing today. It's yourself. Congratulations. I probably pronounced your name incorrectly there. I do apologize. But congratulations, you are with James. I know that was a great result from you. Congratulations. We also had Benzie with Peter, who was also Finglas. Congratulations, Benzie. I hope you're with us today. We had Connor. I'm not sure who had Connor there, but he sent me this today. Congratulations, bud. I hope you're with us today as well. We had Ashlyn, one of my girls, so she passed a test today, and that was in Tallaght, of course. Elizabeth, I lost her text. I don't know where it is. I probably tried to move it to the archives, but I think I may have deleted it. Elizabeth was definitely Calester. I hope you're watching, Elizabeth, because I know you have been an avid supporter of the channel, so I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We have Arvind in Dunleary. Congratulations, bud. We had these two are from the WhatsApp group, the members. We had Cavi and Navin. There was a load of other people that text me, and lads, I'm so sorry. I'm just so slack with getting the pass certs and the marking sheets and putting them here. I'm so slack at it, but I have to be better at that because I want to celebrate everybody, and if I miss you, I really do apologize. I think that's all of them. So we're going to get straight into the meat and two veg of this. All right. So lads, I cannot stress this enough. Every week this is happening. I had a girl. Now, obviously, I'm not bashing her because, but we had a driving lesson today. Her NCT expires today, and her driving test is next week. So I said, "What's the crack with this?" And her reply, yeah, don't worry, the 90-day policy. My answer to this is always, it has to be valid, in date, and in the window. Tax, insurance, NCT. It has to be valid, as in, it has to be in date and in your window. If you reply with, yeah, but something, it's the wrong answer. If it's not valid, in date, in the window, you can't do your driving test. I cannot stress that enough. An email for your tax won't cover you. Yeah, but I have this email and it's paid. If you reply with yeah, but it's a no. It has to be valid, in date, in the window. What she seen on Google was basically what she read was what she thought what it said on Google is you can do your driving test if you have your NCT booked within 90 days. What it said on Google really was it said you can NCT your car 90 days before the car is due an NCT. So if you are going to go onto Google, make sure you're reading the information correctly. Because valid, in date, in the window. Also making sure your tires are in good condition. You have your L plates clearly visible front and back. There's no point having a white square in your back window with no red on it and no L. It's not good enough. It has to be white square, red L, and has to be visible. And also making sure your lights are working, and your tires are in good condition. All right, so I cannot stress that enough. We had this question there. This looks like it's from Mulhutter Test Centre. Let me just move myself there. So imagine this puddle is twice as wide as shown here. Should I drive through it or mirror signal around it, crossing momentarily into the other lane? So, Sky, sorry, my dog. So I know this puddle. It's at Mulhutter Test Centre. Classic timing. So yes, this puddle can literally go all the way across to the other side of the road. Um, if there's no oncoming traffic, yeah, you could mirror signal and go through the most shallowest part of it. If there is oncoming traffic, mirror signal, move out slightly, but stay on your side of the road and go through the puddle slowly. Just remember, the puddle will be at its most deepest down towards the footpath, because the road will be shaped, the foot will be shaped like this for drainage. So the road has, it's called camber. So the water will be at the deepest at the footpaths. So the more you get to the middle, the shallower the water. So if there's no oncoming traffic, yeah, you could get yourself all the way to the centre line, maybe cross it slightly. But if there is oncoming traffic, go through slowly, just left of the centre line. Good question. Thank you for that. So another question. This one is a common one. So I have a screen on the dash for reverse around the corner. Is it okay to watch? This one comes up nearly every week, and the answer is yes. Of course, you can use your camera as long as you use all your other correct observation as well. I do cover that in the reverse around my latest reverse around the corner video, and I show the marking sheet guidelines where it says whatever it says visible and audible devices are acceptable, whatever the rest of it is, as long as you do everything else it says. So making sure, yeah, I'm checking my back window as I reverse back and checking the blind spot as I come around a few times, and also glancing at your camera is okay. Can you wear sunglasses when you're doing your driving test? And the answer is yes, of course you can. What's more dangerous? Having the sun glaring in your eyeballs or sticking on a pair of sunglasses? They're not trying to trick you, you know what I mean? If it's really sunny, especially in winter, the way the sun sits right in your eyes. Hold on, that WhatsApp is going to keep on pinging. So yeah, I'm driving, the sun is really low, it's in my eyes. Yes, of course you can use your sunglasses. Next we have, can we use GPS map on test day? And the answer is, it depends on the tester. This came up every week as well. Some testers will allow it. I know we had a girl, she passed her driving test recently, and she had Waze on her dash. She said, can I leave that on? The tester says it's up to you. So with that tester, it's grand. I don't know if all the testers will allow it, but some of them do. So if you want to have her on before your test, and then when you start the ignition, Waze will come on. If they ask you to turn it off, yeah, no problem. If they don't say anything, just leave her on. It's good for knowing the speed limits. Next, we have, does anyone know, since Airton Road is closed in Tallaght, is any of the test routes changed? My test is in Tallaght on Monday. So first of all, best of luck doing your driving test in Tallaght. Because the Ayrton Road is closed, they will probably avoid the routes that will end going there, because it will be too difficult bypassing that to turn right at Kilnamana. So they might just bypass the routes that kind of end in that direction. They can start your test going that way, because it's only closed if you're turning right from the Burger King, or left from the Burger King. So I would just say they would just avoid going back that way. So heard that you need proof of your insurance from the 20th of February to sit your test. Can anyone confirm this? So yes, there is a lot of commotion about this. They are going on strike on Friday, so I believe, and it's all because people are doing driving tests in cars that aren't insured. And it's going on years. I even know myself, I'll start a lesson with somebody and I'll say, I was in this car before, and they'll say, no, you weren't. But there's people just lending out their cars. I don't know. A lot of time, people aren't insured. So the testers are having enough and they want you to bring your letter. If you have insurance on the car you're driving, this is no bother to you. You have that letter anyway. It's the letter that was attached to your insurance disc. You know that disc that you ripped off? That's the letter they want. Even if you had to produce insurance at a guard station, it's that letter that they want to see. So just once you have that letter, you're grand. Bring it with you anyway, because they just want to see your name is attached to that vehicle. But everyone, there's no way you would have thrown that piece of paper out. Hopefully, you all have it. Bring it to your test, but nothing will be official until you get an email about it. They can't just pull that out of the blue because somebody made a TikTok about it. You know what I mean? They have to email you all this. So, but I would suggest bring it with you anyway. What's the crack? Have your test Wednesday week in Tallaght. First of all, best of luck. Any last minute tips? I've done a few mock tests and drove a lot of the roads around. I think they're very well. Good luck to everyone in the test. Thank you very much for the comment, bud. And so, yeah, I say the same thing to everybody. If you have any tips for any test centre around the country, drive perfectly, check your blind spot moving off, stop at your stop lines. If I come to a roundabout and there's cars coming from the right, they go first. Learn your signs, learn your questions, learn your hand signals. Be good at the reverse around the corner. If you can't do the reverse around the corner, get out and practice until you can do it. And just be fairly confident that you can do everything well. If you can't do some things and you have, what you say, Wednesday week, get out and work on the things that you're struggling with. You have loads of time. Best of luck, bud. So, good question here. I noticed cars were overtaking a bus while it was letting people on. In order to overtake, they had to drive over hatched road markings. It was unavoidable. Is that okay on a test? So, what I do always say to people is you can't fail your driving test for doing the rules of the road. If the rules of the road say we're not allowed cross the continuous white line unless an emergency or for access or whatever the English is, that means you can't fail a driving test for staying behind that bus. There's also a section in the marking sheet guidelines that says you can overtake slower moving vehicles or a bus on a continuous white line, but you also won't be marked for staying behind. So when in doubt, do the rules of the road and you can't fail your test. If they fail you, they haven't got a leg to stand on because it's in the rules of the road that I'm not allowed to cross that line. So it's perfectly fine to stay behind. If you're unsure, don't do it. Wait behind the bus. And below that, we have, can you overtake a bus in general? And the answer is yes, of course you overtake a bus if it's safe to do so. If you wait behind the bus and it's safe for you to overtake on a broken white line or whatever, you have to go around it. If you stay behind the bus, you'll probably fail your driving test just because it looks like you don't know what you're doing. You have to demonstrate you're in control of the car, you know the rules of the road. There's a bus parked on the left, there's people getting on. He's going to be here for a few minutes. Overtake the bus. You have to overtake him. Very importantly. When the bus driver sticks his right indicator on, then you stay back and you let the bus move off. When you are overtaking a bus, don't just blindly follow the car in front. That's what a lot of people do. Okay, there's a bus parked, there's cars moving out, and they just mirror move out and follow the line of cars. You have to do your own observation. You have to look up the road when the cars in front of you have moved back in after the bus, and now I can see there's nothing coming. Then I make me move if the bus is still parked on the left. So don't just blindly follow the cars on the left. So I'm turning right in the middle of the road for access. So a lot of people don't know what that means. For access means you're going into your garden or you're going into like a property or something. There is a long queue of cars behind me. The oncoming traffic is continuously coming in the opposite direction, and it takes a while before I get the gap. Is it okay if I am making the traffic behind me wait? So, like in this scenario, you have to ask yourself, what's the alternative? Like, what else can you do? Do you just drive down the road and park somewhere else and walk to your destination? Like, or do you just go home when there's no traffic? You just have to make people wait. You know what I mean? I'm blocking the road because I want to turn right. I can't just pull out in front of someone because somebody behind me might be getting impatient. They have to wait. You know what I mean? I'm turning right. The cars behind you have to wait until you find a gap and move out of their way. As a driving instructor, what do you think are the top three tough maneuvers? I don't think any of them are tough, to be honest. I think if you put the practice in, you should be able to do any of them very easily. And what other ones are you talking about? Because the manoeuvres are reverse around the corner in Ireland, reverse around the corner, turnabout. And if you want to call a manoeuvre a hill start, I don't know. Out of them, the reverse people struggle with the most. But you just have to do it wrong 20 times to figure out that left is closer and right is away. And until you figure that out, you just have to keep on doing it wrong. It's so bizarre. People always say, I'm coming too wide. If you're coming too wide, all you have to do is this with the steering wheel. And just turn it left. It's as simple as that. But until your brain tells your hand that left is closer and right is away, it doesn't work. You just have to do it wrong 20 times a lot of the time before you get that. And be conscious of what you're doing when you're doing the reverse. Oops, I copied that one. And then I had my test on Tuesday. I'm having problems with the reverse around the corner. Any tips? Left is closer and right is away. Until you know that, it's really hard to do it because you're out when you're. I do see learner drivers every day doing this. Okay, it's coming too far away. What do I do with the wheel? If they turn right, it's ruined because you're just going the wrong way. If you turn really slowly and you keep on rolling, it's ruined. So if you're struggling with it, reverse back. If you're struggling with the reverse, do it in stages. Step one, reverse back in a straight line and stop when your back wheels get to the turn. When your back wheels get to the back turn, that's when you do a quarter steer to the left, roll back until you feel the curb is getting away and stop again. Do a second quarter to the left, roll back. If it's still getting away, do a third quarter to the left, roll back. If the curb is still getting away, do another quarter to the left. And once you feel you're closing the gap, just do the opposite with the wheel. The reason why I do it like that is because it just gets you training that a little bit of left is closer and a little bit of right is far away from the footpath. But again, you just have to do it wrong 20 times before you figure that out. So I think that's the last of the question. That's the last of the questions there. There was not too much on the WhatsApp group today. But I just want to talk about driving around, park cars parking the left. So this is a mistake probably 100% the learner drivers is making. When we're driving down the road, look at the image on the right-hand side with the yellow van. So I'm driving straight down the road. I have to stop because the yellow van is on my side and there's a green car coming. All you have to do, I kind of drew like a little white broken line there, is just stop straight, just left of the center line. What everyone does is, okay, I can see the yellow van, I can see the green car, and they do a big left steer and get themselves tucked in behind that yellow van in the image on the right. You don't need to do that. Also, I also see people, they just keep on rolling forward, rolling forward, rolling forward, and eventually stopping when they get literally on top of the van. When it comes to reaction to hazards, it's all about just making the correct decision and acting on it. Okay, I know I'm going to be stopping because the hazard is on my side. I know the green car has enough space on his side of the road. Just make the decision. I'm going to stop where I am, just left of the centre line, nice and straight. And when the green car passes, it's so much easier for you to just move out around the van. The same with the image on the left. So this one we're driving. There's a good bit of distance between us and the yellow van on the left. So instead of driving all the way up to the van and going hard on the brake and stopping right behind it, I'm starting to reduce my speed much earlier. I can see the blue car coming, and ideally, we want to just slow it down, let the blue car pass, and then mirror signal around that broken white line without stopping. You know the way, but reduce your speed sooner instead of speeding up to stop right behind the van. It's all just reaction to hazards. I need to do that in more detail. I only put these slides together a few minutes ago. I didn't have time to kind of do them properly. But I'm going to go to the comments here, lads. I know, like, I usually spend a good few hours here, but I'm going to try wrap this one up early enough. I'm running out of staying today. So, how you doing? I'm Box. How you doing, bud? Congratulations on passing your test. How you doing, Alan? How you doing, bud? Thank you very Addison good name. Addison Janino, two good footballers. You're welcome, bud. Thank you so much for watching. Colan J. Sorry, I probably butchered that pronunciation. I'm sorry. Was supposed to do my test in Finglas, but it got cancelled because of the weather. You're joking me. Was it the first test of the day? Because are we expecting ice? Would that be the case? That's infuriating for you, bud. I'm sorry to hear that. How you doing, bud? How you doing, Dean? Was that yourself? Was that yourself? I had your question up on the slides there. I thought you put that into the group. So feeling confident going into next week. It might sound silly, but does what you wear make a first good impression? Yeah, definitely. Why not? Like, yeah, 100%. Like, it doesn't really matter what you wear. You know what I mean? If you like wearing tracksuits or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But at the same time, you do want to come across that. I don't know. I don't know. Does clothing, like, if you come in a tracksuit, does it make you look like you're less responsible? I don't think so. Um, but I do always tell people that treat it like a job interview. Wear your Sunday best as if you're going to mass. Nice short and tight. I mean, listen, don't overdo it. But yeah, if you do want to dress for the occasion, why not, bud? Stick on a pair of jeans and a pair of runners and a jumper, and that is perfect. Just footwear is also very important. Not so much in the winter, but people do tend to wear like sliders and stuff. That would be a very bad impression, and you wouldn't be allowed to do your test because your shoes have to have a back on them. But apart from that, you can wear whatever you feel comfortable in, but treat it like a job interview. And best of luck then. Is it mandatory to have a high vis red triangle first aid kit in your car for your driving test? And the answer is no, you don't need one of them. You should have one, but you don't need it to be able to do your driving test. That was the question. Is it okay to drive to the test centre without a qualified driver? And the answer is I always will tell you no, you're not allowed to drive unaccompanied. How you doing, Ivis? Massive thanks for myself and James. Your videos is a big help. Metal yellow forced red. Don't know what that means, but thank you very much. Really appreciate you, buds. Thank you. Me, DW1SM. Wait for an old person, then barrel through it laughing hysterically. Yeah, why not, bud? Do whatever makes you happy. Bayon. There's an X in that. I'm terrible with X's. Oh, the letter X. Bayon. I'm gonna call you Bayon. How you doing? Saw one of your latest videos with Michael and Cork Deadly on a new route which I took during my driving test and passed on my first attempt. I did both 3 point and reverse. You're deadly. All the way down to Cork. My YouTube was traveling all through the country. It's absolutely hilarious. Can't believe it. Remember the first test route I done was Tallaght about 3 years ago, and it was awful. I wouldn't even be able to look at it now. It was horrendous. I'm not saying that good now, but they've come a long way from Tallaght to Wilton, so I think that's pretty hilarious, to be honest. And thank you so much for watching. Glad you liked it. And there will be Wilton Test Route 2 out soon. It just depends. There's content waiting to be edited. It just depends where it comes on the list, you know yourself. But thank you so much, Bayon. So you asked that already. So how you doing, Kira? Are you this week? You must be Friday or Thursday, eh? I haven't the letter, but I can screenshot it from the app. From there, you could also print it. If you can see it somewhere on a platform, then it's printable. Then so you obviously printed your own insurance disc, did you? I would have checked that for the green strip, didn't I? Yeah, if you can access it on some sort of portal that your insurance is sitting on, well, then you can print it from inside the portal. I would definitely bring it just in case that morning you get the email and now I haven't got the letter. Just, I would print it tomorrow when you're in work. That would be probably the best thing to do. How you doing, Sam David? What's the crack? I just moved house 1 week ago to County Meath. Congratulations on the big move. So I'll be taking my test in Navan. Nice one. Just want to say thanks for all the videos. They helped me understand. Very good. Well done, bud. Navan's a nice route. Nothing too strenuous in Navan. A lot of the routes kind of overlap. The kind of testing area isn't that big. So yeah, it's not a bad route. How you doing, Rob? You said in one of your videos there's 6 times you need to pull off and look in your blind spot. So you would do it moving off from a park position, leaving the test center, on your hill start, before you reverse around the corner, before you're hang on. Moving off from a park position, your hills at the test center, your hill start, before your turnabout, after your turnabout, if you're asked to park on the left, they'll park you before you reverse around the corner and tell you that you're moving off to reverse around the corner. That's 5. And then after the reverse around the corner when you're moving off again. So that's the 5 times for that. Just as before you reverse around the corner, I don't really count that as moving off my park position because you're going backwards. But make sure you check your blind spot that time as well. You're welcome, Box. Well done. Thank you for joining us today. What's the best time to book your test? So I always say 10:05. But every time I say something, there's always an exception to the rule. Except for if it's in the depths of winter and we're expecting ice, because then your test might be cancelled because the roads haven't thawed out yet. In summer and every month except for extreme cold months, 10:05. I always say 10:05. It's my favourite time. If there's a bus lane and you're turning left, are you allowed to cross over or do you have to wait until you're beside the lights? See, when they break them lines way too close to the lights, that's really difficult to make a left turn sometimes. I do tell people you can take a few meters off the bus lane, not the end of the world. Just don't drive in the bus lane for a long period of time. It's very unpractical to drive right up to the broken white line and not be able to get in because there's one car there and now you're blocking a lane of traffic for no reason. Just come into the bus lane behind the car. No issue with that whatsoever. It'd be different if you drove in the bus lane for a long period of time. That's different. But taking the end off, it shouldn't be a problem. Test was at test was at sorry, you're talking. Oh yeah, so your test was cancelled, was it? It's unfortunate. What can you do? Sorry to hear that, but hold on, was your test cancelled due to unforeseen circumstances or for bad weather? What we expecting tomorrow? Is it supposed to be bad tomorrow? How you doing, Bella? My name is Anthony. Not sure what the speed I need to go in the exam. 30 in the States, 50 on the main road, or 60 or above, as it indicates. Any tips for what speed I need to go? The speed limit, when it's safe to do so. When it's not safe to do so, below the speed limit. It's hard to answer that question. Like, you have to just know the speed limit on the road. If it's safe to go the speed limit, you go. If it's not, you reduce. My mum has a wheelchair permit. If I'm driving with her to the test centre, can I park in the wheelchair space? I don't know, but well, your sponsor will be probably, yeah, because you're going to have to park close to the test centre for your mother because she needs to be, yeah, 100%. Yeah, if your sponsor needs that space, yeah, why not? But that's what it's for. Because then when your sponsors are gone inside, you can't move your car. So yeah, that's what it's for. What test centre is that, bud? Did you tell me that? It sounds like Finglas. I don't know why I'm thinking you're Finglas. What's the crack, Carl? Thanks for joining us again. Thanks for the steering tips last week. You're welcome, bud. I'm starting to get the hang. Good man. I had my first lesson with Peter and Finglas after my EDTs. Would you have any tips about not swan necking? Yes, I do, and it's what everybody does. So swan necking is when you drive too far past the right turn usually, and you've gone too far past the centre line. The reason why people swan neck is, okay, I'm in position, I'm in the second, I'm off the clutch, I look to the right and I should turn. But what people do is just as they turn, they look ahead again, drive forward, then look right and turn. Now I'm gone too far. The reason why people do that is because they're not actually looking up the road on approach to the turn. So when I hear them turning right, actually be looking up the road on approach to the turn. I know there's no car coming. I know I'm not stopping. There's the turn. All you have to do is once this road opens up, just look that way, continue to look that way, and look where you're going. It's when people they get to the centre line and they say, oh no, is there a car coming? And look ahead again. But if you had been looking up the road a lot sooner, you would have known there was no cars coming. There's the turn. Just look and turn and look where you're going. And I guarantee you that will fix it. Everybody makes the same mistake. Forget about that last look ahead. When your turn is just there, look that way and look where you're going. That should do it, bud, if that makes sense. How you doing, Irene? Can you go over yellow box rules? So sorry, I read that wrong. So the rule at the yellow box is basically, so say there's a yellow box, you're at, it doesn't have to be traffic lights, but we're at traffic lights. The light goes green. We're first at the line, but there's a big line of traffic on the other side of the junction. What the yellow box is telling you is, don't go in unless I can clear the other side. So if the traffic is backed all the way up, you will just wait at the line. That's the same if there's traffic lights or not. Just not going into the yellow box unless I can get out the other side. You will notice that you can enter, sometimes that traffic lights, there'll be a yellow box on the ground. It's the same rule whether there's a yellow box or not. that's when you would go up to the middle and you're allowed stop in the yellow box when you're turning right. And then you just go with the first available gap. The main reason why people generally get caught in the yellow box is because, so imagine I'm driving along, I'm in a line of traffic. What you don't want to do is just be looking at the car in front of you, because then you need to be looking past the car in front of you, up the road. And if you can see traffic building up, that means the car in front of you is eventually going to stop for the traffic. If there's a big line of traffic coming to the yellow box, make sure you stop before the box, because you don't want to go in until you can clear it. So don't look at the car in front of you. Get your eyes up and look up the road and plan ahead for traffic building up. That's the main reason why people get caught in the box. It's just for looking for the car in front of them. What else is there? Sometimes you're coming to a T junction, and I'm at the kind of minor road, join the major road. You are allowed to, if there's a line of traffic and a yellow box and I'm trying to join a road, you are allowed drive in and stop in that yellow box, because that's what that yellow box is for, is to let you out of the side road onto the major road. So that's basically it with the yellow box. Any tips for Tallaght? So I'll give it's the same answer for every test centre. Learn your signs, learn your questions, learn your hand signals, under the bonnet, secondary controls, check your blind spot moving off every time. Stop at your stop lines. If I come to a roundabout, there's cars coming from the right, they go first. Be good at the reverse around the corner. Be good at the turnabout. And yeah, just do everything perfectly, basically. How you doing, German Shamrock? Whenever your car is stationary, check your blind spot before moving. No, when you're parked on the left, you check your blind spot moving off. But if you're just stopped, like in traffic or whatever, you don't need the blind spot before you go. You only check your blind spots moving off from a park position and changing lanes. Sorry, then after the Burger King, the little slip road in Tallaght, is that still a 60 till you? No, but that's a 50. The little slip road in Burger King is behind you. Once you turn left there, that's a sign for 50 there, I think. Is there a sign for 50 there? I think there's a sign for 50 there. It's definitely not a 60. I wouldn't go 60 there, but it's too built up. And you'll see that Circle K there, and there's a lot of car garages. There's too much kind of going on there. I'd be kind of cruising through there. I wouldn't even hit 50 going through there. It would be too hazardy. How you doing, Raj? So yeah, welcome. Thank you so much for watching the videos, bud. Test done, Larry, at 3:30 in 2 weeks. Any tips? Learn your signs, learn your questions, learn your hand signals, learn under the bonnet. Stop at your stop lines, check your blind spot moving off, be good at the reverse, be good at the turnabout, and do everything perfectly. And then you can't go wrong. It's the weather's sorry to hear that, bud. And your test is in the afternoon. I bet you it's only going to be a dribble of rain and a bit of wind. Sorry to hear that, bud. That's brutal, that is, man. Any tips for Carlo? No, never been there. Go on, Craig. Learn your signs, learn your questions. Go on, man. What's the crack with you, Craig? All good with Pete, are you? You're welcome, Irene. Thank you. What's the crack, Stephen? How long is the driving test? So on average, it's supposed to probably be 35 minutes. But so use that as an average. So if it's really busy, you might be out a little bit longer. Whereas if you do your test first thing on a Saturday morning, it will be a lot shorter. It'll probably only be about 17 to 20 minutes. It just depends on what time. Average, it's supposed to be 35, so I believe. So call it half an hour driving. How you doing, Daniel? So I seen something where you had to bring your insurance cert. Is that true? So only when they email you that you have to bring it, is it true? So a few people made TikToks about it and stuff like that. By all means, print it and bring it, because if your test is, say, whatever, Friday, well, it won't be Friday because they're striking. If your test the following Monday and you haven't got an email, but then you get an email that Monday saying you better bring that, you probably won't have time to print it. So anybody that's doing that test, print it now. Or if you have the original, even better. It's just a piece of paper that your insurance disc was attached to. That's the piece of paper that they want. So bring it by all means. You can't go wrong if you have it with you. How you doing, Atul Raj? Do we need to check blind spot when changing to a right turn only lane? You could. Yeah, why not? If you're changing lane, you check your blind spot. And I can't stress this enough. Checking your blind spot is a little glance to the right. It's not a big look over your shoulder out the back window. It's a quick bump and then look where you're going. It's a quick sideways glance. Thanks for the tips. You're welcome, bud. I'll get a rebooking email soon. I believe you'll only be about 2 weeks, hopefully. Hopefully, it won't be too long waiting. It's just a pain in the arse because you got your time off work or whatever now. So you just have to redo that again. But best luck in the next one. If you look on the maps and there's no 50 sign, tell me I'm wrong, but if you look on maps, there's no 50 sign. I thought it was mad, to be honest. The first 50 sign is after the crossroads where the Lewis is. If you don't see a sign, technically it's still the same speed limit as the previous road. But just because that's so narrow, and I know that estate, I wonder if you went down to and turned left at the lights where the sign for 50 will be there, does that change to a 50 on the Joe Carriageway? If it didn't, when you turned left, there should be a sign for 50. I'm not too sure about that myself. But I wouldn't treat that as a 60, bud. No way. So hey doing, Daniel, I'm confused as when I failed my test I got done for overtaking 3 times, but I never so overtaking doesn't necessarily mean like you overtook like a slow moving vehicle. It could have just been a stationary vehicle on the left. It could have been a cyclist. Like, just it depends what happened to you. It could have been, sometimes people get marked for observation overtaking because even though you are looking up the road, it's what I spoke with on when people are overtaking buses. Just because the cars in front move out to overtake, whatever, a parked car, whatever, a bus, just because somebody in front of you is doing it, you can't just blindly follow them without doing your own observation. So if you can't see past them cars, you have to make sure they move in, do your own observation, and only when you can see are you allowed to overtake. So there's a lot of reasons why that could happen, but yeah, hopefully you just fix it and pass the next one. I definitely wouldn't, and I would be saying to the examiner, I'm not going. Don't just. You always go with the speed that feels suitable for the road. You don't need to say it to the examiner, honestly. They just you don't need to say it to them, honestly. And I would be saying to the examiner that I'm not going to see this road as it wouldn't seem safe. That route was grand, but where you're going into that estate, that route wasn't too bad. The reversing all is good in that estate. Turnabout was good. Yeah, that's not a bad one. It was definitely not a cyclist. When there was a stationary car, I just checked my mirror. Maybe, I don't know, but I wasn't in the car. I don't know. Yeah, whatever you done, the test, I wasn't happy with it. What's the crack, Craig? Started watching your videos about a week ago. Gosh out is now firmly in my head. Great thing to remember. Lovely stuff, bud. Videos are easy to watch. Learn a lot. Deadly. Best luck in Rahini, Craig. Really appreciate you watching. And how you doing? Proud Irish. Good man, that's a good name. What if you are coming off a slip road and you can't join? Can you stop and wait for an opening? So, like, what's like? You have to ask yourself, what's the alternative? Is there a left lane that I can continue to drive in and try find a safe, suitable gap? Or is the only option driving out onto a busy road with cars coming? Well, if there's nowhere to go, you have to stop. But if there's a left kind of slip road, use that left road to get your speed up. It's much easier to to merge onto a road if you're actually driving. To do it from a stop position, nobody will let you in. But if you're moving and your mirror signal, somebody usually lets you in then. Right, lads, I'm going to wrap this one up because I'm absolutely wrecked. I am. So yeah, that was a bit of a. So this one was 45 minutes long. Last Tuesday we done what was it, like an hour and a half or something. So yeah, lads. By the way, if you just want to book lessons with anybody, like to get me personally, it's mid-March. There's no point texting me looking for like tomorrow. You won't get any instructor for tomorrow. No matter how new, whatever, you won't get someone for tomorrow. You know what I mean? People hop my phone over. I have me test tomorrow in Rahini. Forget about getting someone. You won't get someone. Plan ahead. If you know you can't reverse around the corner, if you know you're not ready to pass your test, don't book a cancellation. Do a lesson with your instructor or whoever you're working with. Figure out how to fix it, and then when you're ready to pass, then book a cancellation. If you do it, people are doing it the opposite way. I'm saying this years, and it's just not working. Be ready to pass, then book a cancellation. All right. If you do want to book me, it is mid-March. So, and all the other lads are full as well. But that's it. Just keep going, pass your driving test, get this out of your way, and continue on with your life. And thanks for the questions. If you just want to join the membership, it's the link in the description there. And then I'll add you to the WhatsApp group, and then you can join the conversation. All right. Best of luck, everyone. And I'll see you next Tuesday, same time. Have a good evening. Thank you so much.